You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
The W Show back live here from Radio Row. We've been bringing them in today, and we got yet another NFL player that's joining us on the show. Rodney McLeod, Eagles safety, man. Appreciate you joining us today,
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and Q, this is our resident Eagles guy right here.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Long time. I'm gonna go ahead and let you, lead it.
Oh no, I mean, I wanted you to take it off, but I'll definitely take it off. We definitely appreciate you, for coming on the show, and it looks like you've got a lot to talk about. I would like to start out on the fashion note.
Yeah, okay,
because I see you have your own line. Talk to us about that, and especially the hat.
Yeah, man. We just dropped our debut collection. My brand is called Back of House. The collection is called Land of the Rebels, as you see on the hat. It's really trying to get the message out about having people feel comfortable living outside the box. Sometimes you have to do things that go against the grain, and that's okay. Yeah. It's okay to live on the edge, be daring, be fearless, right? So really just putting that message out there. And you kind of see that throughout the collection in certain pieces that we have. Some motocross kind of inspired pieces. We have a vest. We have a black kind of canvas set that we put together that's all like stemming from that kind of motocross. You think of those individuals like daring, fearless, they just don't care, right? They just live on the edge. Yeah. And then we have a varsity jacket in the collection, which is very popular this season. And we put our own little rendition to it. And it really takes me back to that moment in high school where I had the luxury of winning 3 championships in high school, right? And you want to wear your varsity jacket with pride, but you go to school and they tell you not to wear it, but you're like, man, look, I done put blood, sweat, and tears to win this jacket. I'm wearing it. You feel me?
And then getting those letters,
Exactly. Man. So collection is dope. Been getting very good response from it. And just looking to build on this. Looking forward to our spring, summer collection. We've already started brainstorming that, what we kind of have in mind. So there's a lot in store. Been seeing a lot of people, rock the brand, which is encouraging, and just trying to push out positive message.
And talk to us about the Back of House brand, because I mean, even when you're creating a clothing line, and especially with it being yours, you have to be fashionable for one, but then two, talk about the marketing behind, what Back of House came from.
Yeah, Back of House kind of it means for us success built behind the scenes, and I think that applies to everything in life. You want to be successful, man. You have to put a plan and preparation, together in order to have that, create that success, right? And so that's kind of where the name formed from. When originally the term Back of the House is like a lot of kind of jobs that kind of go unseen, right? That play a very intricate role and part in whatever it is that's going on to help make that business successful. And so we just want to just continue pushing out that messaging and encouraging people, man, like take your time. The process is important. Don't get discouraged with the process. That's where everything is started and really ends, right? Like you have to take your time, build. I mean, everybody can speak on it, right? You all start from somewhere. This didn't just happen overnight. Right. It took time. It was a process. You had to learn. And so we're just trying to, have everybody be successful the best way possible. And then I think the process is a vital component.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, you also just started the Change Our Future charity, and then you were the NFLPA's Alan Page Community Award winner for the community work.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on there.
Yeah, so my wife and I started our organization, Change Our Future, in 2020, actually, like during COVID. And, we hit the ground running. A lot of stuff that we did wasn't necessarily mission focused, but it was what the community needed, what society needed during that time. And so now we've been getting back to our mission at hand, which is serving kids and putting kids first. That's our mantra. And, we feel like we want to be able to just break down those barriers and break those cycles that have existed, particularly for minorities and African American kids, that look just like us. And we understand the resources and opportunities that were afforded to us that got us to where I am today, right? We took two different paths. I played sports. That was my outlet. I was able to gain a scholarship and go to the University of Virginia. She, on the other hand, academics, had the, programs and all of that at her disposal that allowed her to get an academic scholarship to go to the University of Virginia. So for us, we want to be able to now fill that void that a lot of those, kids are missing in those urban communities. And we think mentorship is important.
Definitely.
We think college and career, early exposure is important. And then we think STEM is huge. Just, for these kids and success, the way the world is going, it's important. And so those are our three focal points, and what we're going to really focus on. And we got some programs that we're going to implement into some schools this year. Very excited about our youth leadership summit that we're going to do this summer, kick it off. And it's really got to thank everybody in Philadelphia, like for the entire community, for getting behind our mission. We just had our first fundraiser event in December, and that we killed it, man. I couldn't ask for nothing better. The support that we received that night was huge, and then of course this award and the donation by the PA and the league is phenomenal. So
and you talked about giving back. Was there a point growing up, whether it was the high school coaches, your parents, or whoever was that just said, all right, this is what you need to do as far as like when you actually make it?
Yeah, I think it was a lot of just my faith, just being in the church, serving others is very important. And everybody needs help, man. We all come from somewhere. We all come from a community. And when you think of community, you think of, togetherness, love, unity, and all those sorts of things. And it's important for a guy like myself, now that I'm, at this stage, to be able to highlight like that, right? And I've always viewed myself as being more than just an athlete. And that was really instilled in me at a young age, and understand the importance of education. And I always try to stress that at my youth camps, how, man, this game, it all has an expiration date.
Right.
For all of us that dream, or play sports, right? We've all ended at some point, whether you end after 10 years of playing in the league, you in 1 year playing in the league, you in after high school, you in 2 years into college. There's so much, right? But education, your knowledge is powerful, and that's something that will live on forever, that nobody can take away from you. My degree that I have from the University of Virginia, I can never be stripped away.
Right.
So it's powerful. And I think it's important for us as Black individuals to really talk about it and give these kids a sense of hope, and understanding that, look, I know I'm here in the league, but understand it's more to it.
Right.
And I think that's where my wife, we're like, man, we got to expose them to so much more and give them that hope, because it's out there. And that's what it's all about.
You have young guys coming into the locker room, right? That fresh out of college. Yeah, you were there, right? They don't really understand. All right, I'm in the league. I'm getting the bag, right? And just some of the directions we can go. But like, what's your message to them? Like the guys that don't really know exactly what they want to do, like after football.
Yeah, I think you make use of this platform that we have. We have a lot at our disposal. We were just talking about this morning.
Really?
And how, there's so much out there for us as players that the NFLPA provides. You have the opportunity to do internships. They have different programming for you. I'm interested in broadcast, program. Like all of that is at your disposal. You just have to use it and apply it. But it all starts with the player himself.
Okay.
Now, what are your priorities? What do you want out of life? And it's important to understand that, like, at some point, this league is not for long. That's the other name for it, right? And it's going to happen at some point. And it's going to take some adjustment when it is time for you to hang up the cleats whenever that moment comes. But make sure you do the work now before it's too late.
Yeah. So let's switch gears to the team and the relationship with the team. I see you mentioned something about Jalen Hurts. What's that relationship like with the young boy?
Man, love Jalen.
Yeah,
love
same.
Jalen.
Man, NFL Man of the Year.
Yeah, man. Like it's just impressive to watch him grow from his rookie year to where he is now, and even growth throughout this season.
Of course,
you know, his ability just to be able to lead men at this level is impressive to watch from afar. And he's a guy, man, that's just always so poised.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's a guy that works hard. He's real, genuine, respects the game, but then even more, he respects his teammates and that relationship. And you can see it unfolding. And it was something that, you know, we needed, that group needed, right? Particularly the offense. And you see how guys respond to him. They rally around him. And it's credit just to him, to the work that he puts in and where he's come from.
Yeah.
And I think his experiences in life have now shaped him to be prepared for these moments. And you think about his college career on the top, you know, playing at the highest level and everything's going good for him and winning championships. And then next thing you know, position lost, just like that. And now you have to respond. Like, what's your response going to be?
Yeah.
And he stepped up and he wanted to prove that, look, I still can play. I'm still a starter and I'm going to go over here and it's all love, but I'm going to show the world.
We love to see it. We love to see it. I have a question myself. We've been in Philly for, 5-6 years.
Six. Yep.
We've just seen Ben Simmons just get traded. He went to Nets.
Did that go that official? That went through?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, 10 minutes now.
10 minutes.
10 minutes ago.
I was on set looking. It happened.
So among
Wait,
other
who they
things,
trade? Who they trade?
Oh man,
Harden.
So they,
you had to.
They had to do it. They had to do it. And so among other things, I mean, he had his problems, but one of the problems was his issues with Philly, the fan base.
Yeah.
Speak to your relationship with the Philly fans. Like, what would an athlete need to be successful in an environment like Philadelphia?
Man, you gotta have thick skin, man. Come on, he know as a fan himself.
Yeah.
Man, like really, you gotta have thick skin. And I try to explain it to people that, look, you should be worried when they stop talking about you.
There we go.
Right?
Yeah. There we go.
Like, as long as they talking about you, you got a chance.
You
got a chance. But they wear their emotions on their sleeve, man. It's a passionate city, and like they go hard for you. Like when I mean they go hard for you. Now, like they're gonna let you hear it. They work on a play-by-play basis. They don't work. They don't work. It's minute to minute. You can have a DM saying, "Man, you the worst fucking player in the league," and then the next sentence, you done made a play. 3 possessions later, you know, got an interception. They like, I love you, man. And they're not going to erase it. They're going to let you know. Both sides of it. But I mean, I love it. I love it. Honestly, they hold all of us to the highest standard.
Okay. Right.
And you got to respect it.
Exactly. You gotta respect especially with you being in the community like you are. I'm sure you probably have lots of love, and they probably
but there's a lot of hate too, and it hurt. It hurt. Oh yeah, it hurt.
Oh man,
it hurt. That's playing. You know, like it hurts. And I try my best to avoid the social media, stay off it.
Yeah.
Don't read too many articles, but you know, they like look.
They're there. They come.
Yeah, come and go. And that's everybody. That's everywhere though. You know, you're gonna have a lot of people that love you, but we're gonna focus more on the negatives than the positives, right? That we're seeing. So, I love them. I love them.
And that's a big thing in media too. It's like. And us being in Kansas City, I'm pretty sure you see it. Like people in the fan base go attacking family members of the players, right? Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that? It's like, is it leave my family out of it? Just come at me, or what's your thoughts? on it?
I mean, it gets to a point where, look, at the end of the day, man, we are human beings.
Yeah.
You know, I do this. This is my profession. But I don't come to your job. Because because you forgot my fries, you know what I'm saying, that at Chick-fil-A, or you forgot a couple sauces that I asked for, and now I'm like throwing hate at your family for you feel me? Exactly. It's not that deep. And I think that's where that line has to stay. It can't get crossed. And I've been there before. one of my situations, like way back in the day, I had a crazy hit on Emmanuel Sanders, and all the like Broncos, like country was just coming at me like
Really?
on Instagram. I hope your mom gets cancer. Like you'll see it all.
Crazy.
But yeah, it gets to a point where it's just uncalled for.
Did you get some family members though that'll come right back at them?
Yeah.
Did you had to say, nah, we good. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Really?
You just have to remember, like at the end of the day, like I said, we all human beings. We all bleed the same. And nobody's intentionally wants to do bad out in that field. And so you can't take it to that point where now you shaming family. Yeah.
And then before we get out of here, we definitely want to talk about just the head coaching situation in the NFL and really how lopsided it is, especially with, the recent findings with Brian Flores. And then we were just sitting with McCole Hardman with the Chiefs. So, you have Eric Bieniemy there that's still looking for head coaching jobs. What being in the league for as long as you have been, I'm sure you've come across, these different coaches, the Hugh Jacksons, the different things. Talk about the impact that they have culturally, personally, with players, and really just understanding the majority of what the league looks like.
Yeah, it's huge. I think, you spoke about it. The majority of the league is represented by African Americans. I think 70% or a little over. And so I think it's important that have that same sort of representation and hierarchy, head coaches, GMs, right? Even ownership. That's what we want to see as players. That's what coaches have proven, that they're more than qualified,
of course,
to lead men, right? You look at a guy like Mike Tomlin, prime example, and it's been there. They had 3 coaches and still is history. And he's one of them. It's iconic, man. But it just shows you that it can be done. You look at Tampa Bay and their staff filled with all of those coordinators, right? Byron Leftwich, Todd Bowles. The list goes on. And then you think of Flores, a guy who had a winning record, and what he was able to do with the team this past year was impressive. They were 1 game shot from making the playoffs. And how does something like that not qualified to be a head coach in this league? And why isn't there more representation? And this message has been out there for some time. I think at this point it's all about action. We can't continue to talk about it. And we obviously, the league is bringing it up and trying to address it, but at this point we're like, look, we just need action to be taking place. We need more representation. And that comes from the owners, that comes from the GMs, really, taking it upon themselves and taking initiative to hire these individuals, but also giving them a true, fair opportunity. Because that's what we're talking about right now is, are we doing it just because we have to, or are we giving a fair chance and looking at everybody's true body of work for who they are in that moment during that interview, 4 or 5 hours that they're being interviewed throughout that day, and make your decision that way. But it is disappointing to see, the accusations that what's been going on the past couple of weeks. But we're hoping for change, and we're hoping that, Flores stepping out the way that he did, there's got to be some sacrifice to gain, right, to get that doesn't come at a huge expense for him and not being able to get a job again. But hopefully at the end of the day we just we see some change really take place.
And do you think any pressure from the players, you think that can be influential at all, and especially with the NFLPA?
I think it can. I mean, we as players have to use our voice, right? We're using our voice for like good, and this is another way to use our voice to push and influence that change.
Definitely.
We have a large audience individually and then collectively as, within numbers. There's strength in numbers. And so I think it is important. Somebody that I think close to myself on my team one of my DB coaches, or my DB coach, Denard Wilson's, man, very experienced coach, educated, knows so much about the game.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in this position for like 15 years, close to 15 years as a DB coach, but hasn't, for some reason, had to opt to get a DC. And you just, like, it just blows your mind, how something like that could happen. But all you could do is just continue to work. And like you said, maybe a way to influence change is through players' messaging.
And even speaking to more coaches, it Deuce Staley still with them.
And he's with Detroit. He's with Detroit.
Oh, he's with Detroit now.
Okay. And running back, but also assistant coach. And he was upset that he didn't get the job, and he felt as though he had reached his kind of ceiling, I guess, with the Eagles, and unfortunately he had to move on, and hopefully maybe he gets another op somewhere else.
Yeah, you would hope so.
Yeah.
And let's move it to Sunday.
AFC or NFC?
I'm going with the Rams. I'm going with the Rams.
Okay.
For I think the Rams are going to win. I'm not necessarily rooting for anybody. I want to see, more importantly, a good game. I do not want to see a blowout. I doubt that that's even going to happen. But for me, I just think the Rams have impressed me throughout these playoffs. They've been battle tested constantly, right? You go down to Tampa and you're in, everything's going your way.
Right.
And then that second half, Tom Brady magic comes out, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we got a game for the last 3-4 minutes and you got to grind it out. And Matt Stafford steps up in a huge way. Somebody that for this very reason, this moment right here, this is your time to show and prove, right?
Yep.
And he stepped up. That I want him at San Fran. They had so long. Defense played it type of, they stood strong and they overcame that. They're back in their state, man. I like the way Cincy is playing. I really want to root the underdog. But something is like, I just think the Rams are going to do it for some reason. And it's a lot to say for Cincy. Nobody thought they would be here.
No, definitely.
They're a fearless team, man. So it's gonna be a good game, though.
No, definitely.
Who y'all got?
Of course, we're not going with Cincy.
We about it.
KC messed that up, man. Damn ball playing.
Yeah.
And it cost him at the end of the day.
No, definitely.
Yeah. We appreciate the time, brother. Thanks for giving us some time. This is Steve Walls here with the crew. We here, LA. We're gonna be right back here with more guests.